Hello friends, today we are going to discuss another popular interview question that can be solved by XOR. I have personally faced this question in one of my interviews. In the previous video we discussed how to find the element in an array of integers where all elements appear twice except that particular element. I highly recommend you to watch the previous video before proceeding with this one. The link is mentioned in the description. Making the previous problem a bit more interesting, today we will discuss how to find two elements in an array where all elements appear twice except those two elements. Say we take an array A 2, 1, 7, 4, 5, 4, 7, 1. Here all elements appear twice except 2 and 5. Before proceeding to XOR, let's see what are the other ways to solve this. So first is brute force, second is sorting, third is hashing. These approaches are similar to what I have discussed in the previous video. Please take a look and see if you can solve this question using these three approaches discussed in the previous video. The link is again mentioned in the description. Do let me know if you need an explanation on the above approaches, and I'd be happy to make another video for the same. In this discussion, we'll focus on XOR operation. Let's come to XOR. Using XOR, we will solve it in big of n time without using any extra space. So here it is important to see how we can solve this using XOR, right? So overall, like using XOR, we can divide it into three steps. So first step would be, first of all, we'll find XOR of all elements in the array, right? So my elements were 217, 454, 71. So if I find out XOR of all elements in the array, it will be something like 2 XOR 1 XOR 7 XOR 4 XOR 5 XOR 4 XOR 7 XOR 1, right? So if you have seen my previous video, you'd remember that all even occurrences of elements cancel out in XOR, right? So if I look at it, so 1 and 1 is basically getting cancelled, 7 and 7 will get cancelled, 4 and 4 will get cancelled. So this XOR on the whole array will basically translate to 2 XOR 5, right? So now what is 2 XOR 5? So 0 1 is 1 1 1, right, which is 7. So 2 XOR 5 is 7, right? So this is my XOR, the value is 7. We'll keep that, we'll keep a note of that. So we found the XOR of all elements in the array, right? Which is essentially the XOR of the two elements which are present only once, right, which is 7. So the second step is we'll find the rightmost set bit of the XOR. So the idea is that out of the two elements, one will have this bit set as 1 and the other will have this bit set as 0. Using this information, we can group elements and find the two elements. Let's see how this happens. So the second step is rightmost set bit, right? So for 2, the rightmost set bit is what? It is this one, right? And for 1 and for 5, the rightmost set bit is this one, right? So my XOR is 7, right? So the rightmost set bit of XOR is what? This one. And how come this one has arrived here? It is only because one of the elements, for one of the elements, that bit is 0, and for the other element, that bit is 1. Then only we have been able to reach one for the XOR element, right? So it means that we can group these elements. Now how do we find the rightmost set bit of XOR? Okay, so let's say rightmost set bit is RSB. So RSB will be basically equal to XOR and not of XOR. So let's see, what is my XOR? 7 and not, I'm sorry, this will be XOR minus 1, correct? So this, right? So what is 6? 6 is 110, and not of 6 will basically be 001, right? 0 0 1 is 1, so this basically means 7 and 1, right? So what is 7? 1 1 1. And what is 1? 0 0 1. So 1 0 0, right? So rightmost set bit is 1, which is exactly this bit we were talking about, right? So rightmost set bit is 1. So now this bit for 5 it is set to 1, and for 2 it is set to 0. Hence we have a write up at 1, if you remember, right? If two bits are not same, right, then the answer is always 1 for XOR, right? So using this we got our XOR, which is 7. We got our rightmost set bit, which is 1 RSB, correct? So this is my second step, to find the rightmost set bit of the XOR. Now using step 1 and step 2, let's see how we can find our answer, right? So we will create two groups, elements which have rightmost set bit as 0 and elements which have rightmost set bit as 1. We will do XOR on these two groups separately. We are doing this because each one of the two elements we are searching for will land in different groups, and since all the other elements are guaranteed to be repeated twice, we can easily find the two elements, one from each group, and by doing a XOR operation on that group. Let's see how this works. How do I check whether for an element a of I, right, whether the rightmost set bit is 0 or non-zero? So we can check that easily using a of I and RSB, right? If this is equal to 0, right, it means it will be a part of group 1, and if a of I and RSB not equal to 0, it will be part of group 2. So if you remember, our array was what? Our array was 2 1 7 4 5 4 7 1, right? So if I take 2, what is my RSB? RSB 1 element is 2 1 0, and my rightmost set bit is 1, right? So if I do an AND, right, it becomes 0. So two groups, right? First group will have 0 and second group will have 1. So at least in group 1 I have 2, right? Now next element 1. So 1 and 0 1 and 0 1, which is my RSB. So this is non-zero, right? So 1 will land to the other group. Okay. Now let's come to 7. So 7 is 1 1 1. What is my RSB? 1. Do an AND. So this is non-zero, so it will land to the other group. Okay. Next element is 4. Now for 4 it is 1 0 0, right, and 0 0 1 is my RSB. Do an AND. So I get 0, so it will land to group 1, right? Now what's my next element? It is 5. So for 5 1 0 1 and 0 0 1, right? So it is 1 0 0. So this is non-zero, it will land to this side, the second group. Now next let's come to 4. So 4 is already there in group 1, and 7 already we have processed, and 1 also already we have processed. So we have got our two groups, first group containing 2 and 4, and second group containing 1 7 and 5. So if I do a XOR separately on each of these groups and store it in two different variables, I can get my answer. How? So group 1 contains 2 and 4. How many times 2 is occurring? It is occurring 2 times. One time, and 4 is occurring 2 times. So it is something like 2 XOR 4 XOR 4, right? I've not repeated the elements here, but let's say for simplicity I'll repeat it here. 7 and 1, right? So just do a complete XOR on the group 1, 2 XOR 4 XOR 4, and complete XOR on group 2, 1 7 5 7 1. So as you remember, like even cancel out, right? So I get 5, I get 2. So I get 2 and 5 as two different variables and I can easily print them out and get my answer, right? So again, overall complexity of this approach uh, would be, first of all, big of n to find the XOR. Remember at step 1 we were finding the XOR. Yes. And then to find the rightmost set bit, right, since this is a mathematical formula, it will take big of 1, so we don't need to run over a loop or anything like that. So that is big of 1. And the third step is basically to group the elements and find the XOR. This will again take a scan on the all array, on the complete array, because we need to subdivide into two groups and get our answer. So first step is big of 1, big of n, second step is big of 1, and third step is again big of n. So overall it is big of n, right? And we have not encountered any extra space, so we can solve this problem using XOR in big of n time. So this XOR operation is a bit tricky to understand, and just go through the video once again and try to see and try to solve it on your own to get a better idea of it. Okay. Now this problem can be like further generalized. Say the interviewer might ask you, given an array where two elements have odd occurrences and all the other elements have even occurrences, so find those two elements, right? So the same approach would work there as well. So I leave it as an exercise for you to think about it and try it on your own, and let me know in the comment section. I hope the approaches explained were clear, and the link to the code is mentioned in the description. I'd highly recommend you to try coding on your own before checking that out. Let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts or questions on approaches discussed. Do like the video if you like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. So until next time with another XOR trick. Bye.